Now, let's get on this forewarning. Let's get on this forewarning about this so-called Valentine's Day. That is another European ritual. Another European ritual. Let's go, before we read that, we're going to go to John chapter 8, because you need to understand what the truth is. You're practicing all of these holidays, thinking you're doing something good, and you're doing the opposite of what the Lord God, the creator of heaven and earth, wants you to do. That's what you're doing. You're not doing right. You're doing wrong and evil. To celebrate St. Valentine's Day is evil as hell. You're doing wickedness on St. Valentine's Day. That's what you're doing. You ain't doing nothing right. What did Hamashiach Yahushua say in John chapter 8? He said, Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed in him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not set you free. We're not going to be set free until the Most High cracks the sky with his only begotten Son, with the order to redeem his service upon the earth and his people, and to judge the heathen, the so-called white man, the so-called Arab man. All of these people are going to be judged, whether you like it, understand it or not. You can hold hands with them. You can think they're okay. You can work with them and all of that. But in the end, what's going to happen is, just like it says in the scriptures, though join hand in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So your little friend is a European, your little friend is an Arab, and your little friend is an Asian, they going to get punished. That's what's going to happen. Like it, understand it or not. The Lord God does not depend on you to do that judgment. He's going to do the judgment because he knows you won't judge right. You're not judging right now. You can't even judge your own life correctly. Why? Because what one big old thing right here you're going to do is you're going to celebrate the ridiculous, sinful, unrighteous, unholy, ungodly St. Valentine's Day on the 14th. That's what you're going to do. And I'm telling you right now, the St. Valentine's Day has nothing to do with love. You understand that? It has nothing to do with love. And you're going to find out that those in the know, the Europeans even, they created this unholy day, and then they have the nerve to tell you the truth about it. But you won't even do any research to figure it out. You won't research anything. Well, let's get to it. As we frequently do, we go to history.com because they give the history of all of these European pagan days. Every last one of them is right there. You can look that up any time of the year. This is the forewarning against St. Valentine's Day. It is a lie. The history of Valentine's Day, history.com. It was originally written in 12/22/2009, and it was just updated this month, on the 2nd of this month, on 2/2/2023, it was updated. Now you know that this is not something that all of a sudden changed. This is how it is. All right, this is what's going on. Do not celebrate Valentine's Day. That's what this is about, the forewarning. Go to Heaven Offers Me Everything on YouTube, and you'll see this video posted. All right, do not celebrate Valentine's Day. It's about doggone sexual fornication and human sacrifice and animal sacrifice. That's what the original, and still today, it is the same thing. Let's get into it. Valentine's Day occurs every February 14th across the United States and in other places around the world. Candy, flowers, and gifts are exchanged between loved ones, all in the name of St. Valentine. But who is this mysterious saint? Why is he mysterious? Because he's a damn lie. That's why he's mysterious. And where did these traditions come from? Find out about the meaning of the history of St. Valentine's Day from the ancient Roman ritual of Lupercalia. You understand that? That's what Valentine's Day is. Lupercalia. Look it up. Lupercalia. 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 That's what Valentine's Day is. It ain't got nothing to do with love, and you're about to find out the truth of it. And where was it welcomed? In the spring to the card-giving customs of guess where? Victorian England. Another, here it is, pointing to the Europeans once again. Just like all the other holidays in this country, it always points and originates from the Europeans because they're pagans. They'll never be Israelites. You cannot convert to be an Israelite. You can convert to being Jewish, but you cannot convert to being an Israelite. You have to be born into this. This is the seed, the bloodline. There's no bloodline in the Jewish, but there's a bloodline over here. There's a bloodline for you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. There's a bloodline for you. Here we go. Where did Valentine's Day originate? We just talked about it. And guess what? That doggone Roman Catholic Church and Christianity got something to do with it too. For all you participants that are going to participate tomorrow and do goofy stuff in the church for St. Valentine's Day, which is nothing more than Lupercalia. We're about to discover the mysteries and wickedness of Lupercalia here in a moment with two articles. You see, the first one wouldn't admit the truth. The second article I have does admit the truth, but we're going to explain it to you so you can understand. We'll put it in layman's terms, all right? Here we go. Where did Valentine's Day originate? The history of the holiday or holiday, because there ain't no holiday, it's no holy day, it's a holiday, a day of hell, a day for you to commit sin. That's what it is. And the story of its patron saint. All patron saints are created by Roman Catholicism, the mother of every Christian denomination on the planet. The mother of over 66,000 Christian denominations on the planet is the Roman Catholic Church, Catholicism. We do know that February has long been celebrated as a month of romance because of these Europeans in false worship, a ritual that they also call festival, and that St. Valentine's Day, as we know it today, contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman traditions of hell, traditions of unholiness, traditions of evil. That's what it is. But who was St. Valentine, and how did he become associated with this ancient rite? A rite. What is a rite? It's a practice. It's a ritual, a festival. All right, we're going to get you a definition of what a ritual as well. Here we go. It starts off with that. The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred, they were killed. And it doesn't mean for their faith either, by the way. A legend is a very old story or set of stories from ancient times, or the stories not always true. Again, not always true. Again, not always true, that people tell about a famous event or person. This is from the Cambridge University Dictionary definition. All right? So the legend contends that Valentine was a priest. That means he was Catholic. There's no priest but in Catholic. My tongue doesn't even want to say it. The only priests are in Catholicism. All right? Who served during the 3rd century in Rome. That is in the 200s AD. That's your 3rd century. When Emperor Claudius II, another Roman, European, decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. And what did he do? He outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Still others insist that it was St. Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded by Claudius II outside of Rome. Basically, it amounts to if you don't obey the Caesar, you're going to get beheaded. What is a bishop? A priest of high rank. Oh, the noise of these loud cars. Lord have mercy. A bishop is a priest of high rank who is in charge of the priests of lower rank in a particular area or over a number of church assemblies or buildings. How you doing, brother? Don't celebrate Valentine's Day. That's what we're talking about. All right? Don't celebrate it. It's not worth your soul. All right? Other stories suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons. Now, that would have been Israelites. All right? Because if you understand the time, it was the Israelites being persecuted. It wasn't no heathen so-called Christians being persecuted. It was Israelites. Remember, the apostles were first called Christians in Antioch. Okay, he attempted to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons where they were often beaten and tortured. And we know it was Israelites. That's what the Inquisition was about. Trying to make Israelites accept Roman Catholicism and the white Jesus, he doesn't exist. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during his confinement. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote her letter signed "From Your Valentine," which being his last name. An expression that is still in use today. Although the truth behind the Valentine legends is murky, and you damn well better believe it's murky, because it's not true. The stories all emphasize his appeal as a sympathetic, heroic, and most importantly, romantic figure, just because he sent a letter. Get out of here. By the Middle Ages, and you're going to find out what that is in a minute, the period of time the Middle Ages were, perhaps thanks to this reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and France, and now around the world because of the spread of Catholicism. All right? So what is the Middle Ages? It is the period after the fall of Rome, from the year 476 AD to the 1500s AD, approximately 1450, which was the beginning of the Renaissance, which is a French word that means rebirth. Rebirth of what? Rebirth of the white man in rulership. That's what it is. He rose up again in rulership. He was put down for about 1,000 years, and he rose back up. Now, here you go. The origins of Valentine's Day, a pagan. See, so what you're about to do on Valentine's Day is celebrate a pagan holiday, a pagan festival or ritual in February. That's what the origins of Valentine's Day is. What is a ritual? A set of actions or words performed in a regular way, often as part of a religious ceremony. And this is how it is connected to the Roman Catholic Church and all of its daughter Christian denominations. Or a ritual is also any act done regularly, usually without thinking about it. And this is how it infects people to partake in the ritual. They don't investigate or research what or why they partake in societal rituals or habits. This is from the Cambridge University Dictionary. Why some believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial, which probably occurred around AD 270. Others claim that the Christian church may have decided to place St. Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to, quote, Christianize, end quote, the pagan celebration of Lupercalia. We just talked about it. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what was done. And that's how you get it joined to the Christian church and all of its over 66,000 denominations. Because they got it from the Roman Catholic Church and they wanted to continue in its filth. Tomorrow, you're going to find a lot of your churches right here in Moreno Valley are going to celebrate it inside the church. They're going to take photos. They're going to take pictures of couples posing, kids posing. They're probably going to have a meal inside the church tomorrow. In celebration of something that is ungodly and unholy. This is your forewarning. This is your forewarning not to do it. Don't you do it. It is celebrated in the Ides of February or February 15th, meaning the middle. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture. That's what this is all about. The Europeans are always celebrating false gods that are no gods. That's what Valentine's Day is all about. Lupercalia. And we're going to find out what they did on Lupercalia too. And also says, as well as the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. Whether those two people ever existed, we're going to find more about them too. All right? To begin the festival, members of Lupercalia, which is an order of Roman priests, I'm going to read that again. To begin the festival of this ritual of unholiness, the members of Lupercalia, an order of Roman priests from the Roman Catholic Church, would gather at a sacred cave where the infants Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf or lupa, a female wolf. Two so-called humans taken care of by a female wolf. Now that's not going to turn out well. You understand? This is ridiculous. The priest would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. You see, back then, they sacrificed dogs for purification. Today, these white folks won't kill a dog. They damn near worship dogs today. You got doggone wealthy white folks, they're leaving inheritance to a damn dog. That's how stupid they are. They value a damn animal's life over human life. Let's go on. What does it say? It says the priests would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. They would then strip the goat's hide into strips, meaning they flayed the goat. They took the goat's skin off. That's what they're talking about. Dip them into the sacrificial blood of the dog and the goat and take to the streets and gently, now this is a lie because the other articles don't say exactly what they did. They said, here it says, gently slapping both women and crop fields with the goat hide that had blood on it from the goat and the dog. Far from being fearful, listen to this, far from being fearful, the Roman women welcomed the touch of the hides because it was believed to make them more fertile in the coming year. They thought getting hit on their bodies would make them have babies the next year. That is stupid. That is asinine. You know that's not true. Nobody can slap you with an animal skin with blood on it, with goat and dog blood on it, and you saw all of a sudden have a baby. You cannot have a baby but having you know what? SEX. You can't have no baby by that. There's no amount of no doggone goat blood or animal blood is going to make you have a child. But this is what your forefathers, the European forefathers, thought. This is the kind of thing they did, and they're still doing it today. Don't think this is not happening today. It's just happening in secret. It's just not out in the open, but it's happening behind closed doors on some of these secluded compounds. It's happening every single day. And this is their high unholy day, Valentine's Day. They're high, and I'm gonna tell you how it's happening every day in a minute. I'm gonna explain to you how this ritual is happening every day here in a minute. All right, so it goes on to say, later in the day, according to the legend, all the young women in the city would place their names in a big urn. The city's bachelors would each choose a name and become paired for the year with his chosen woman. This is sexual fornication. You understand? This is Lupercalia, Valentine's Day. This is what it is, okay? And this is also what's known as swinging. Swingers. That's what it's known as, and that's what happens every day around this country and around the world. You got these people that want to exchange their wives with other wives. That is sexual fornication. That is adultery. That is lust. That is lasciviousness. That's what that is. That's not holy. It's not holy for a man to give his wife to another man. It's not holy for a husband, from a woman to give her husband to another woman. That's not holy. That's ungodly. That's unholy. That's evil. And then they have the nerve to say these matches often ended in marriage. That is a lie. You're going to find out later, if you do some more research, They even sacrificed the children that are born during this festival. They even killed the children, the babies that were born from this wickedness, from this fornication and adultery. But guess what? Lupercalia went underground. How do we know? It says right here, Lupercalia survived the initial rise of Christianity, but was outlawed. It was not outlawed. We're going to explain that in a minute. As it was deemed, quote, unchristian at the end of the 5th century. So that means that the Christians celebrated and they participated in this sexual fornication, this adultery. That's what it means. Until the 400s AD, they participated in it. When Pope Gelasius declared February 14th St. Valentine's Day, that's when it started. The Roman Catholic Church, one of the popes, Gelasius, he sanctioned February 14th as St. Valentine's Day, the Roman Catholic Church. That's why you do it. It's Lupercalia, all right? Animal sacrifice, human sacrifice, and sexual fornication, adultery. That's what St. Valentine's is all about. That's Lupercalia in a word, because it was not outlawed. Lupercalia was not outlawed. It went clandestine. Or in other words, it went underground. It went down low. And it is what is known today as swinging and swingers. That's what it's known as today. Swingers and swinging. It was not much later, however, that the day became definitively associated with love, which is a lie. How can you just have random sex with people and that be love? That's not love. That's a lie. During the Middle Ages, between 476 and 1500 AD, it was commonly believed in France and England, two European countries, that February 14th was the beginning of the bird's mating season. What does a bird mating season have to do with human beings on Valentine's Day? Absolutely nothing. It's a lie. Which added to the idea that the middle of Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. Should be a day, all right? The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to record St. Valentine's Day as a day of romantic celebration in his 1375 poem. So it even started before this. See, this has been going on for thousands of years. And now it's 2023 and this truth is coming out. It's been coming out. This didn't just start. This article is from 2006, 2009. But you don't want the truth. You want to enjoy the filth of this society and this world. That's what you want to do. So in his 1375 poem, quote, Parliament of Fools. And that's what you all are on Valentine's Day. You are parliament, a group or assembly of fools. Someone who has been tricked, deceived, and cheated. That's what you're doing on Valentine's Day. Quote, for this was sent on St. Valentine's Day when every fool cometh there to choose his mate. You see, he goes back to that. In 1375, they were exchanging sex partners. That's what they were doing, all right? Valentine greetings were popular as far back as the Middle Ages, again from 476 to 1500 AD, though written valentines didn't begin to appear until after 1400. The oldest known valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1415. Now, they just said a poem in 1375. All right, now they're talking about some other garbage. So this is more lies and deception. That's all it is, and it's in the same article. All right, supposedly a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. The greeting is now part of the manuscript collection of the British Library in London, England. You see, they like keeping all these records of the filth and all the evil and all the sin that they do. They like keeping it. They like showing it off. Several years later, it is believed that King Henry V hired a writer named John Lightgate to compose a Valentine note to Catherine of Valois. All right, now let's find out who this Cupid is. Cupid is often portrayed on Valentine's Day cards as a naked cherub, or otherwise a naked angel. Angels are not naked. All right. Angels are not naked. You've never seen that in the Bible. But this doggone European, this white man, is going to tell you that there's naked angels. And not only that, they're naked baby angels. This is ridiculous. You've never seen that. That is not how angels are described in the book of Daniel. Go look that up. Let it scare the hell out of you. Maybe it'll scare the hell out of you enough that you don't celebrate this holiday called St. Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day, which is actually a celebration of a European ritual called Lupercalia. So it goes on to say, this Cupid was launching arrows of love at unsuspecting lovers. But the Roman god Cupid, that's what Cupid is, a Roman god. And you know it's not a god. It's a false god. The only God is the creator of heaven and earth, the God of the Israelites. That is the only God. That's the only living true God. All the other gods are the creation of men's hands and mind. That's it. That's it. Though these little gods cannot breathe, move, see, touch, speak. You got to do it all for them. But our God does speak. He's speaking right now through one of his prophets, and all the prophets upon the earth, they're the Israelites. There's no Gentile prophets. There's no Asian prophets. There's no European prophets. There's no Arab prophets. There's only Israelite prophets. So it goes on to say that this Roman god Cupid has his roots in Greek mythology as the Greek god of love, Eros. Accounts of his birth vary. There is no birth of no false god. Let's get that understood and clear right now. All right? Some say he's the son of whatever these people are. I don't care. Let's move on. According to the Greek archaic poets, Eros was a handsome immortal, played with the emotions of gods and men, using golden arrows to incite love and litten ones to sow aversion. Aversion means a person or thing that causes a feeling of strong dislike or of not wishing to do something. Okay, you understand that? So this false god, suppose he made people love or he made people hate. How much sense does that make? It makes no sense. Now here's where it gets very telling if you know the Bible, right here. It wasn't until the Hellenistic period, which is a period of mass influence upon the known world, to conform to Greek, then later Roman customs and laws. You can see this in the books of 1st and 2nd Maccabees on the Hellenization of the Israelites. Okay? So it became a mass influence during the Hellenistic period that began to be portrayed as the mischievous, chubby child he'd become on Valentine's Day cards. All right? That's where it comes from. Hey, again, European, comes from those Europeans. This is a mischievous or evil upon those that accept this ritual. That's what you're doing. When you celebrate Valentine's Day, which is celebration Lupercalia, you are celebrating evil. Understand that. You understand that? Whether you like it, understand it or not, this is the truth. Whether you like it, understand it or not, is the truth. St. Valentine's Day is a lie. It is a celebration of sexual sin, sexual fornication. It is adultery, fornication for those who are not married, and a celebration of the ritual killings of babies and goats and dogs. That's what they used to do. They used to celebrate the celebration of Lupercalia. They sacrificed goats and dogs, took their blood, and spanked the women with the blood from the hides of the dog and the goat. That's what they did. Look it up. You got smartphones. You're on your phone all the time anyway. Look that up. Instead of the foolishness you look up every day. Look up Lupercalia. Look that up. Film this and look up Lupercalia. Do that. Get some true understanding. And don't celebrate this stupid holiday of Valentine's Day. Typical St. Valentine's Day greetings and gifts. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do this in your Christian church tomorrow, and you're probably going to do it every day leading up to that one particular day on the 14th. In addition to the United States, Valentine's Day is celebrated in Canada, Mexico, and the United Kingdom, all places where primarily Europeans roll, France and Australia. Oh, and guess where else? In Great Britain, St. Valentine's Day began to be popularly celebrated around the 17th century in the 1600s. It's not always been around, but it's been around for thousands of years. Okay, one note here says in about 2000 BC. All right, let's get to it. By the middle of the 18th century, which is the 1700s, it was common for friends and lovers of all social classes to exchange small tokens of affection or handwritten notes. And by 1900, printed cards began to replace written letters due to improvements in the printing technology, or printing ideas. That's all technology is an idea. Ready-made cards were an easy way for people to express their emotions in a time when direct expression of one's feelings was discouraged. Why was the expression of one's feelings discouraged? They don't ever tell you in this article. Cheaper postage rates also contributed to an increase in the popularity of sending Valentine's Day greetings cards. Americans probably began exchanging handmade Valentines in early 1700s. Probably. Okay? In the 1840s, and this is, you know, this is a European, and this is a woman. In the 1840s, it's easy to get women hooked on things like this. Just like Eve in the Garden of Eden, as she was deceived and beguiled by Satan, who came in the form of a serpent, who was actually a man. So you can understand, the man had the nature of a serpent. Okay, so let me correct that. He did not come in the form of a serpent. It is actual man, a man being a snake, low, crawling on the ground. That's what the snake in the Garden of Eden means. That's what it means, an evil, slick man. Like Al Sharpton, like Jesse Jackson, like President Obama, like your Christian pastor, like your Roman Catholic Church priest. All slick and mischievous and lascivious and greedy. Yeah, them. We're calling them all out. So it goes on to say that in the 1840s, Esther Howland began selling the first mass-produced Valentines in America. Howland, known as the, quote, mother of the Valentine, made elaborate creations in real lace, ribbons, and colorful pictures known as, quote, scrap. We may as well call it crap. They say scrap, we saying it's crap. Today, according to the Greeting Card Association, an estimated 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sent each year, making Valentine's Day the second largest card-sending holiday of the year. More cards are sent at Christmas. Oh, that's a military aircraft flying right over our head. All right, here we go. The second article, that was witness number one. That was witness number one against Valentine's Day. Now we're going to get witness number two. Now we're going to get witness number two against St. Valentine's Day, or Valentine's Day, which is actually nothing more than Lupercalia. Lupercalia. That's what it is. Valentine's Day is nothing more. It's been rebranded as from Lupercalia. Lupercalia has been rebranded as Valentine's Day. And now here's the facts on Lupercalia from history.com. This article was updated on 2/11/2022. It was originally written in 12/13/2017. What does it say about Lupercalia? Lupercalia was an ancient pagan festival or ritual held each year in Rome. In Rome, another European country, the origins of Roman Catholicism in Rome. And you're going to see how the Roman Catholic Church is directly connected to this. Although Valentine's Day shares its name with a martyred Christian saint, those saints are only in the Roman Catholic Church Catholicism. Some historians believe that the holiday is actually an offshoot of Lupercalia, because it is. We just proved it. This is the second article that's going to prove it. It's going to say that some believe it, but right in it's going to tell you exactly what it is. Unlike Valentine's Day, however, Lupercalia was a bloody, violent, and sexually charged celebration awash with animal sacrifice, random matchmaking, and coupling in the hopes of warding off evil spirits and infertility. You see, they wanted to, this is what Europeans do. They do all this wicked ritual crap because they want to ward off evil spirits and infertility. And guess what? The Lord has closed the wombs of these Europeans around the world. They cannot have children. They are not reproducing. Their numbers are dwindling every single day. That last pestilence took a hell of a lot of them off the earth. So that you can understand, they told you that black people were dying the most when they were dying the most in this country and around the world. Understand that. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem and Mashek Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh. Okay, now what is this random matchmaking? This random matchmaking is known as the swinger movement or swingers today. Okay, or it is sexual fornication, sex outside of marriage. Okay, because in Lupercalia, it says that later on they might have married. That's not how you do it. All right? Sex is marriage within our Hebrew Israelite customs. All right? According to the law. According to the law. Understand that. It ain't just a custom and tradition like it is in Europeanism. It is a law. All right, what's it going to say? Lupercalia and the legend of Romulus and Remus. No one knows the exact origin of Lupercalia because it was created in the European white man's mind. You can't find the origins of very many things with them anyway because they hide every damn thing. No one knows the exact origin of Lupercalia, but it has been traced back as far as the 6th century BC. I said 2000 BC. They say 6th century BC. Understand that. This is ridiculous. So what is it? What's really going on? What's going on is sexual immorality has been around since the creation of man. That's what it is. Various forms of sexual immorality have been around since the creation of man, and that's what Valentine's Day is about. Don't celebrate it. Clap that up, sister. Clap that up too. Don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Don't do it. Don't celebrate it. Turn down the music and hear the truth. Turn down your music and hear the truth. Lupercalia, according to the Roman legend, again, European, according to the Roman legend, the ancient king, Amulius, ordered Romulus and Remus, his twin nephews, and the founders of Rome, to be thrown into the Tiber River to drown in retribution for their mother's broken vow of celibacy. Again, she committed sexual sin. This wife was sexually immoral. And this man made her pay for it. All right? He destroyed her 2 children. Well, he actually didn't destroy her 2 children because you'll find out here in just a second what happened. And this may not even be true. This is their legend, right? It says, a servant took pity on them, however, and placed them inside a basket on the river instead. Now, guess what that sounds like? That sounds like the Bible and Moses, does it not? This is how you know the Europeans are liars, thieves. All right? If you think that they can replace the story of Moses, don't you think that they'll replace you as the Israelites? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans? That's what they've done. They tell you the Jewish people, the 1948ers, are God's people, and they're not. Far from it with what they're doing. Okay, this is the story of Moses in a perverted retelling. That's all it is, okay? And guess what else it goes on? A river god carried the basket and the brothers downriver to a wild fig tree where it became caught in the branches. The brothers were then rescued and cared for by a she-wolf, a female wolf. What female wolf you know today is going to take care of a human child? It's going to eat that child. That's what it's going to do. Haven't you heard of Red Riding Hood? Yeah, they get eaten. The brothers were then rescued and cared for by a she-wolf in a den at the base of the Palatine Hill where Rome was founded. Now, what you got to understand about Rome is known as the city of 7 hills. Rome is known as the city of 7 hills because it is surrounded by 7 mountains, okay? The twins were later adopted by a shepherd and his wife and learned their father's trade. After killing the uncle who'd ordered their death, they found the cave den and the she-wolf who nurtured them and named it Lupercalia. So here's your origins. Here's your origin story. The origins of Valentine's Day, Lupercalia, based upon a damn female wolf. You don't even have to make this stuff up. This is ridiculous. It is thought that Lupercalia took place to honor the she-wolf and to please the Roman fertility god Lupercus. The Roman god of fertility, Lupercus. All right? Now, we're going to get into it. It talks about the ritual sacrifice of Lupercalia. Lupercalia rituals took place in a few places. The Lupercal cave, we just talked about that, on Palatine Hill, and in the Roman open-air public meeting place called the Cabitium. All right? The festival or ritual began at Lupercal cave with the sacrifice of one or more male goats. We heard about that, and dog. Here it is again. A representation of sexuality and a dog. So a goat to these Europeans, these Romans, was a representation of sexuality. The sacrifices were performed by Luperci, which are a group of Roman priests. Afterwards, the foreheads of two naked Luperci, these Roman priests, were smeared with the animal's blood using the bloody sacrificial knife. The blood was then removed with a piece of milk-soaked wool as the leprosy laughed, as these Roman priests laughed. The feast or ritual of Lupercal. In ancient Rome, feasting began after the ritual sacrifice of the goat and the dog. When the feast of Lupercal was over, the leprosy, these Roman priests, these Catholic priests, cut strips, also called thongs or fibria, of goat hide from the newly sacrificed goats. Then ran naked, or nearly naked. No, they ran naked because this is how they get down. They nasty, evil, and wicked. They ran naked around Palatine, whipping any woman within striking distance with the thongs. During Lupercalia, the men randomly chose a woman's name from a jar to be coupled with for the duration of the festival. Now, the other article said for a year, until the next festival. This one says during this festival. Often the couple stayed together until the following year's festival. They're repeating it here again. Many fell in love and married. Yeah, right. We know that's a lie. Over time, nakedness during Lupercalia, let me say that again. Over time, nakedness during Lupercalia lost popularity. So they had done this for hundreds of years, if not thousands. The festival became more chaste, if still undignified. Oh, it was undignified, all right. And the women were whipped on their hands by fully clothed men. Okay, this is what St. Valentine's Day originated from, all right? In Plutarch's Life of Julius Caesar, Caesar famously refuses a golden crown presented to him by Mark Antony during the feast of Lupercalia. Now, here's what he's talking about, these saints in Roman Catholicism. There are several legends surrounding the life of St. Valentine. The most common is that one on February 14th during the 3rd century AD, which is 200s AD. A man named Valentine was executed by the Roman Emperor Claudius II after being imprisoned for assisting persecuted Christians who were more than likely Israelites and secretly marrying Christian couples in love. Yeah, right. As the story goes, during Valentine's imprisonment, he tried converting Claudius to Christianity. Claudius, there's a difference. There it goes. There's a fact. Roman Catholicism was not originally known as Christianity. It was not known as that. They morphed into it, and now they deceive you with over 66,000 denominations of Christianity and their own Catholicism spread around the world. To our Northern Kingdom brethren, the Hispanics and Latinos in North, Central, and South America. As the story goes, during Valentine's imprisonment, he tried converting Claudius to Christianity. Claudius became enraged and ordered Valentine to reject his faith or be killed. He refused to forsake his faith, so Valentine was beheaded. Legend also tells of another story that happened during Valentine's imprisonment after he tutored a girl named Julia, the blind daughter of his jailer. Now, that other article mentioned this. The legend states God restored Julia's sight after she and Valentine prayed together. On the eve of his execution, Valentine supposedly penned a note to Julia and signed it, "From your Valentine," which was nothing more than his last name. It was his last name. That's all it was. Some historians believe more than one man named Valentine was executed by Claudius II. We saw that in the previous article as well. Despite the ambiguity surrounding Valentine and his life, the Catholic Church, or the Roman Catholic Church, declared him a saint and listed him in Roman martyrology as being martyred on February 14th. Here we go, back to that Roman Catholic Church, which we know is European. We know it's European. We know it's the white man. Some historians believe, let's move on. Origins of St. Valentine's Day. Thanks to St. Valentine's reputation as, quote, a patron of lovers, say that again. Thanks to St. Valentine's reputation as, quote, a patron of lovers, he became synonymous with romance. In the 5th century AD, which is 400 AD, the Pope Gelasius the first eliminated the pagan celebration of Lupercalia and declared February 14th a day to celebrate the martyrdom of St. Valentine instead. You understand that? You see what happened? You see how that happens? The Roman Catholic Church sanctioned it. Then they allowed it to be spread all through Christianity by joining itself to it. Lord, we don't have to make it up. The truth has to be told. Hallelujah. Although it's highly likely he intended the day to commemorate love and passion. In fact, some modern biblical scholars warn Christians not to celebrate Valentine's Day at all, since it's thought to be based on pagan rituals. Read it again. Say it again. In fact, just like the Israelites are telling you, we're telling you the truth, right? Here it says, some modern biblical scholars warn Christians not to celebrate Valentine's Day at all, since it's thought to be based on pagan rituals. We're telling you as Israelites, it is based on pagan rituals. It's based on Lupercalia, and you need not celebrate it. You don't have to buy anybody flowers. You don't have to buy anybody chocolate. You don't have to have sex on that particular day. Okay? Especially out of wedlock. It's true that Valentine's Day uses some of Lupercalia's symbols. You hear that? It is true that St. Valentine's Day uses some of Lupercalia's symbols, intentionally or not, such as the color red, which represented the blood sacrifice during Lupercalia, and the color white, which signified the milk used to wipe the blood clean and represent new life and procreation. Like many ancient traditions, there's a lot of haziness. This ain't hazy, they're telling you the truth. There's a lot of haziness surrounding the origins and rituals of Lupercalia and how they influenced Valentine's Day. Lupercalia is no longer a mainstream public celebration for obvious reasons, but some non-Christians still recognize the ancient event on February 14th instead of Valentine's Day and celebrate it in private. This is why I said it went underground, it went clandestine. Okay? It's known as swingers and swinging. That's what it's known as. That's what it's known as today. All these stupid idiots that are out here so-called swinging and exchanging sex partners are celebrating Lupercalia. That's what they're doing. And they celebrate it in private because it's evil, it's wicked, it's sinful, it's ungodly. This is and has been your forewarning against St. Valentine's Day, which is nothing more than the rebranding of Lupercalia. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem HaMashiach Awashai, by Hashem HaKadesh. You have been warned.